much do you think mining industry removes out of Canadian soil each year and departs with the profit? But talk oil. Let's give it a low estimate of $500 billion a year in profit alone. Now, y'all do your homework and you'll find out what the true number is. It's not lower than what I stated. And who's paying that profit? You all are, by being overcharged for the product. Look at gold. How much do you think gold is extracted out of the ground each year from Canadian soil? Say what, 350 billion? Maybe 500 billion? I would say no less than that. And it's sold for, if I'm correct, less than what the Dominican Republic sells their gold for. Now we're not talking silver, we're not talking bauxite, we're not talking a bunch of commodity like diamonds. How much do you think they're extracting out of the ground? How much gold do you think and diamonds and other precious minerals are extracted out of Canadian ground in total? Well over $900 billion a year. And $900 billion is a low estimate. Now, under the Referendum Party of Canada, it would be forbidden because the only people who should benefit from the resources are the citizens. Why is the government allowing private corporations to leave with this money? This money is not there put away for the future for your children's children's children. That money is taken out of country and not returned. You don't see it no more. And so why is the government not vested in that money remaining in Canada and the companies being owned by the citizens of Canada? And in the end, it's because that's not what they're invested in. They're not in tune with the citizens of Canada or what the Canadian citizens need. Right now, they're just starting to speak about change, about changing the system, about being more independent and giving more to the citizens. It's kind of late. Like, when I get elected Prime Minister, I'm going to be in for a surprise as to the debts that Canada is in. And I'll be surprised at who owns the majority of the lands. I'll be in for a big surprise as to how much is paid out every year in pensions to these government officials that didn't do anything for the citizens of Canada, but shook hands with wealthy people. In the end, those wealthy people aren't here for none of use neither. The banks aren't here for none of use neither. And in the end, it's all part of making Canadians wealthy. Canada should have a bank owned by the citizens of Canada. And the bank's profit should be returned to the citizens of Canada because it's the money of the citizens that's generating that profit. It's the same with housing. A lot of people don't realize it, but housing should have been deemed by the government as a necessity of life. As you have children, you put into building the nation. And as you have more children, they provide you with a house with more rooms. Or they build onto your house. The government's not vested in that because they say it's expensive. In the end, it's not. If other people can do it, the government can do it too as well. What it is in the end is, it's an old scheme of greasing each other's hand and walking away with wealth. The more wealth you give Canadian citizens, the less they can put in their pocket. And it boils back down to compassion towards your citizens. They don't have. I want to meter coffee shops with the water they consume because they make a lot of profit off it, and it's a taxpayer that pays for the fresh water. They pay to purify that water. And underground aquifers, the citizens also should be considered when it comes to fracking. That what they're doing in exchange for a few drops of oil is they're polluting all the water. And what? You're supposed to drink Nestle bottled water? Or you're supposed to drink bottled water? When that bottled water is coming from somewhere, it's coming from some other person's backyard. All the water you see being sold in the market is coming from some township. It's coming from some country place where people have country homes there and their water is going down. That should be non-permissible, and yet the government allows it to be because it's all based on, again, taxation and profit. Greasing hands under a micronation isn't allowed. People go to jail for that. And that's why everything is owned by the citizens. Because if you want to grease someone's hand, you want to grease the citizen's hand. And if somebody should benefit, not from a school, because mining companies that say we'll build you a school, all they're doing is building a freaking school where? You gotta hire teachers, you gotta commit to maintaining the building. They don't do none of that stuff. And once the resources run out, they're gone, the funding's gone, everything's gone. Nowadays, computers, homeschooling's done all over the world. And they don't want to modernize. They don't want to modernize those people because they don't want those people to know. They don't want people to know what the true value of the resources are. Pirateering. Look at England. They hired pirates to go steal gold, diamonds, and rubies. They used pirates and then they executed them.
If we get the light, we're okay to go off that whole contract door.
So not much changed. We still got a queen and she's still head of a nation that caused atrocities all over the world. And you follow the system here. And the system in England is based on nobody really owns the land. It's the same here. You don't own the land your house is on. Under the Referendum Party of Canada, you would own that land. You'd be co-owner of that land. You would be co-owner of all the land in Canada. It wouldn't be titled under a queen. The queen doesn't sit in creation's lap. By now you've all figured it out. I do. My discipline is simple. Remove your borders. Remove your borders or I will. But besides that, it's about building a micronation. It's about teaching the rest of the world, the rest of the citizens of the world, that they own the land they're on. Because creation wants them to. I was here when the place was created, where it was all rock. And big trees. Big trees is a one-story house. Some were as tall as a two-story house, but wider. And that's how Earth became over rock. I enjoyed myself when I played here. I still do. And I don't decree the planet as my own. It's a violation to creation. And I sit in creation's lap. I love what creation created. And what creation created is for all of you to enjoy. Diamonds were not supposed to be removed from Africa. They were supposed to be left there, and they were supposed to be given to the tribal people to show them honor. A whole bunch of things have been corrupted because people chase wealth. Under Referendum Party of Canada, it's going to change. We're going to teach the rest of the world that as human beings, we can co-own this part of the world, and that we can get along regardless of what nation you're born from, or regardless of what nation you migrated from, or regardless of what nation your forefathers migrated from. Because in the end, life is short. And if we all get together and we all make it work, we can teach the rest of the world, the citizens of the world, that they themselves are wealthy. They just have to get hold of it. They have to create a political party that supports them. Under the Referendum Party of Canada, military will be sworn under the people and not underneath the Queen. Police will be sworn under the people and not under the Queen. Political officials will be sworn under the people, not the Queen. You see, there's a big difference. And then if the people don't like the way things are going, or they want to decree rule and law, it will be decreed. And it will be decreed through the Canadian legislation without legislation banning it. Because it's the will of the citizen. And the politicians have to understand this. I have nothing against them. If they don't make change, I will. And I know I will get the majority of votes. Most likely, I'll get all the votes. And the reason I'll get all the votes is simple. People in Canada are not dogs, they're not sheep, and they shouldn't be treated as such. They should be honored. They should be shown respect. They should be given a home. They should be given money. As soon as they're bored, they should have $2,000 a month deposited in an account for them. And by the age of 21, they have a future. They should be given a future. Now, if this government and if the NDP, the Green Party, or whatever you want to call yourselves, cannot provide a Canadian citizen with a future, you shouldn't be elected